and I'm a praying Big Mama. But when we thought about this, being black in America, I went to see my Big Mama just the other day. And when she walked in the door, she said, "Come here, baby. Come and give Big Mama some sugar." So if you know me, I always gave Big Mama some sugar right here on her forehead. And we proceeded to go and sit down on the couch, and she asked me how my day was going, and I told her. She said, "Sugar, you had a mighty good day." And then she began to tell me about her day. She talked about something she had just seen on the news down there in Mississippi. And it took my mind back to little Bobo. You see, little Bobo was from Chicago, and he went down to Mississippi. But it took him a mighty long time to get there, because his mama used to say, "Bobo, I can't send you down to no Mississippi. Those folks don't know how to treat us down there." Well, she talked about it, she thought about it, and she talked to God for a mighty long time. And she realized, my baby should not be denied knowing who his family is, because the way they treat us down in Mississippi. Little Bobo got on that train, and he stood there and he watched his mama as they were throwing kisses and folding their arms in love until that train went on down the track. Well, he finally arrived in Mississippi, and his family was standing there waiting with signs saying, "Bobo, we love you." He got off that train, went and hugged on his people and were kissing them just like we do. And they went on to Bobo's uncle's house. They went in the house and they put his things away, and they sat down at the kitchen table. You see, his Auntie Evelyn had already prepared a meal. They sat down and they ate, and Uncle Winston gave the grace. And after they finished, everybody helped clean up the kitchen. They put everything in their perspective places. And they went in the living room because it was family storytelling time. Well, after that, everybody said goodnight and they went to bed. Well, the next morning they got up and had breakfast. And when they finished breakfast, they cleaned the table, washed the dishes, took the garbage aside, and put everything in its respectful places. And the boys, they went outside to play. They played for a while, and then one of little Bobo's cousins said, "Bobo, let's go down to the store." And they went to the store. And see, I'm making the story kind of quick. You're not gonna miss anything, you're gonna get the point, but I'm making it quick. They went down to the store, and when they got in the store, his cousin said, "Bobo, what is it that you want?" It was so much to choose from, he couldn't decide what he wanted. And he began to get anxious and nervous, and he couldn't get his words out. He began to stumble over his words. But you know, that baby heard the voice of his mama. His mama said, "Baby, when you get excited or upset about anything, what I want you to do is stop. Take a deep breath in and let that breath out. And then you just whistle softly. And then you'll be able to let your words flow." Well, that's what little Bobo did. He was listening to the words of his mother. But that white woman in that store said he was being flirtatious, smart, just mean, and nasty towards her. That night they went, and they found where little Bobo was at his Uncle Winston's house. They ran in like wild animals and grabbed that baby from his bed and took him out and put him in a trunk. They tied a 60-pound weight around his body, and they took him down to the Tallahatchie River. It was several days before they found his body, and then they sent his body back up to Chicago, Illinois. And at his homecoming service, his mother said, after the funeral director was trying to close that baby casket, she said, "You will not close my baby's casket, because I want the world to see what they did to my baby. Now y'all know that was back in 1955. You got a question, Mama?
Yep.
You got it, sugar. You know your stuff. Yeah. Yeah. They call them Bobo. But to get back, this happened in 1955. A couple of weeks ago, something else happened in Mississippi. They said that baby hung himself from a tree. Now, black folks don't like trees. Don't like trees at all. The only thing we want from a tree is some firewood. But anywho, they said he had been beaten from the top of his head to the bottom of his feet. Now you gonna tell me that baby got up in that tree and stood on two branches with wobbly, broken legs, took a rope and hung around his neck and committed suicide? Make it make sense. Let's tell it like it really is. And that's the short version of that story.